Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, and welcome to our You'll Never Walk Alone WhatsApp group and YouTube channel. Okay, last round of 16 games now are coming thick and fast. England played Senegal, and it was England 3, Senegal 0. Okay, I'll talk about Senegal first because they were one of my teams I was going to watch this World Cup, because we have a lot of Senegalese and Africans on our group, and I thought that they would have the best chance of progressing in the World Cup due to the fact that they were African champions, and they had players like Koulibaly and Mendy in goal, and Sadio Mane from Liverpool, and Sarr from Watford, and they had a few players that played in England that we did know, and they were the African champions, so it was a good bet, really. Look, it was a game of two halves, if I'm being honest. It was a game from 1 minute to 38 minutes, and then England scored 2 quick goals and the game was over, and it was just a matter of seeing it out then. So I'll talk about Senegal first. First half they were amazing, but they missed 3 players that normally would play. I can't remember their names. And they missed Sadio Mane badly. At this level, at this stage of the World Cup, as many teams that have gone out have found to their cost, when you get opportunities, you got to take them. And Senegal had 4 opportunities and England were asleep. And that was the time to get the goals. You need to be clinical at this stage. You can't have 4 or 5 efforts and not score. You just can't. And they got some opportunities, and they had, like, Pickford made a good save on one. One of them hit John Stones on the hand. It wasn't a handball in the box. It was accidental. He didn't even see it. If that had been a penalty, for example, they scored that, things might have changed. And it might have been a different game. I'm not saying it would have been, but it might have been. But England sort of woke up after about 37 minutes. They had a counter-attack, and it was just boom, 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 and then to Bellingham. He tears into the box, squares it to Hendo, left foot, bang, goal. That's it, game over, honestly. Because he'd Senegal then chasing it, and then bang. They went up for a corner, England get in again, saying shit, running at 100 miles an hour, 4 passes, bang. Harry Kane, the ball sits up for him on the half volley, and he fucking smashes it into the goal. That's it, game over. Second half, Senegal come out to try and do what they can do and try and make a game of it. But when you're pushing to try and get the goals back, England they knew what they were doing then. And Saka got another one, and that was it. It was just pass the ball around then for the rest of the game. But commiserations to Senegal. They had a lot of players missing. I don't think Mendy is the player that he was last season in goal. I don't think he could have done anything with the first 2 goals, don't get me wrong. But yeah, England tore them apart when they got going. It took England a while to get going, and if I was Deschamps for France, I'd look at that. They've started really poorly, in all their games, if I'm being honest, except for the first one against Iran. Like the America game, they never got going. It took them a while to get going in the third game in the group. They did win and they did come through, but again, it took them 40 minutes to get going in this game. But once they get going, they're going to be very fucking hard to stop. Look, I've grown up on England teams. I've watched England since Bobby Robson in 1990 when they got to the semi-final of Italia 90. They never made it to America in 94. It was the only World Cup they didn't get to. Graham Taylor was the manager. He didn't even qualify. And then from there on, from France 98 on, England have always had either, I'm going back, even if you go as fast forward into South Africa in 2010, you had Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes, but it never clicked for England. Either the team wasn't fucking coherent enough, The manager wasn't good enough. It just didn't work for them. Foreign coaches didn't work. And then Southgate comes along, the luckiest fucking manager in all of England, and he gets generational talent in half a dozen players. Like, England could put 2 teams out and still probably get to the semi-final. That's how much quality they've got. Like, they're young, they're hungry, they're quick, they're clinical. They don't miss out too many opportunities. But if I'm being ruthless here, every game they've played so far, you would expect them to win. The France game is a little bit way more 50-50 than any of the other matches that they've been playing so far. France are no mugs. They obviously have Mbappe and Griezmann, and you know, they have talent players everywhere. Even without Conte and stuff, they still have some amazing players. So this is a real test for England, and I honestly believe that they just might win it. It's going to be really close, like 2-1, 1-0, 3-2. There's not going to be too many goals in it as far as between them. But I still think it's going to be quite a high-scoring game. And I feel that France will score first. So it'll show if England have character. But I do feel England might edge this one. I have a sneaky suspicion, I don't know why, that this could be the England team that could get to the final again. Nothing's guaranteed in football, of course. They still are only in the quarter-final. They still have to win the semi-final and then the final to win the World Cup. But look, if they get past France, you would fancy them to get to the final. And you know, in a final, anything can happen. But yeah, that was the story of the game. Anyway, I'll do a player ratings. Hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and yeah, onwards to Saturday night for France-England. I do hope England win, which is probably weird from an Irish guy talking about the English team like this, but I have no hate towards England. I never had. I'm a football fan first. The colour of your shirt doesn't matter to me. If you're good enough, you're going to get some respect from me. And England have a really good side, let's be real. You know, if they win, it won't be because of Gareth Southgate, it's just because they have generational talented players that, you know, the rest of the coaches didn't. Anyway, player rating time. Okay, so we have the player ratings for England. We will start in goal with Jordan Pickford. Not my favourite person, to be honest, with the Everton connection. However, he made a very crucial save. If that went in, or one of the first 3 efforts that Senegal had in the first 30 minutes went in, things could have been different. So he gets a 7. Decent save. He's a lot better playing for England than he is for Everton. Obviously, he's got better players in front of him, but you know, he has done well for England, to be fair. Kyle Walker, 6. How he gets in front of Trent is, you know, only Gareth Southgate, the tick, can answer that question. John Stones, 6. This wasn't the best game for the England backline. I think they got bailed out a little bit with you know, their midfield and front four and their forward line sort of bailed them out. They were fucking horrendous at the start of that game. And, you know, with more composure and a few better players that Senegal were missing, you know, I think they could have got roasted. And look, I'm going to be honest, this is where I would worry for England. Maguire and Stones, not so much John Stones, he's had an alright season, and he's been alright in this World Cup. But Slabhead is always capable of fucking it up. And, you know, anyway, Slabhead gets a 6. I don't think he was that great, but I'd never rate him anyway. Luke Shaw, 6. I didn't think the backline were all that good, to be honest. I thought that Senegal were all over them in the first 30 minutes. Decky Rice, 6. I don't think he's been all that good this World Cup, if I'm being truthful. He's been alright, but they haven't really had to... He hasn't been exposed as much as his performances have warranted. Hendo gets a 7. He got a goal. I think it was his 3rd goal in 72 caps for England. I'm delighted for him, if I'm being truthful. Jude Bellingham, again, is my man of the match, and probably England's player of the tournament so far, if I'm being honest. Of course, the usual shite on the BBC about Harry Kane, but I don't get it. I really don't. Like, Harry Kane has won nothing as a player, and the love for Harry Kane is just fucking nauseating. So man of the match goes to Jude Bellingham, and what a fucking talent he is. I know he's going to go for silly money in the summer, and I just hope the fuck our club was in for him, because if he goes to anyone else in England, it's going to kill us. Saka 7, he was good, and a goal. Kane gets a 7. It's his first goal. I think that's his first goal, isn't it? I can't remember him scoring any other ones. And Phil Foden gets a 7. Gareth Southgate gets a 7 as well. He would have got an 8 if he played Trent, because I just don't think Kyle Walker is a good player. I don't rate him. I never have. You know, obviously there's the strength of the City side is in there. You know, the English players in the City side. It's Manchester City and Manchester United at the back. But yeah, look, I think France is going to be a different game for England. I think they're going to be under a lot more pressure. I think if they start slow, France could murder them. I think they're going to have to play out of themselves and play to their potential, which they can do. I still fancy England to win it, but I would be worried about Maguire and Stones, because I just think Mbappe is just going to fucking torch the two of them. I could be wrong, and I've been wrong about nearly all the results so far. International football is not my forte. I don't watch that much of it, so I don't really know how good these countries are. I'm going off prior knowledge and experience of them in tournaments. But then again, I never would have predicted Germany would be going out again. So yeah, look, that's it really. Congratulations to England, commiserations to Senegal. They put up a really good fight in the first half, and once the first 2 quick goals went in, there was no chance really. And as I said, they missed 3 or 4 really good players for them that they rely on, and that did hurt them. But they did okay, you know, there was no disgrace. I know when you look up the papers today, it's England cruised to victory, but you didn't watch the game if you think that. If they got a few goals at the start, things might have been different. We haven't seen this England team come from behind yet. They've always been good going forward, and when they get the goal, they steamroll. But if they go 1-0 down from France, I would worry, honestly. Especially if they have to try and chase the game, because they would leave Stones and Maguire exposed. One of them is going to be an issue, I think. I just have a feeling it could be Harry Maguire. Anyway, that's my take on the player ratings. Do you agree or not agree? Leave your comments in the section down below. Hit the like and subscribe button if you would. And thanks for watching. Obviously, I'll do the England-France game on Saturday. And I'll see you then.